But she said something to me and she's like, oh, she's like, are you taking video of me right now? And I was like, no, honestly, man, like, you're not that interesting.
This is Basic AF episode 81. What's up, everybody? I'm Tom Anderson. Good to see you again. Talk to you again. Jeff is, as the old news anchors used to say back in the 80s, maybe, on assignment. I think that was just a cue for they were taking the day off or something, but he's got pulled away from work stuff unexpectedly early this morning, so he will not be here. But I am honored today to have guest for the first time on the show. We've talked on Threads, gosh, for 18 months, it seems like now, maybe longer. Welcome, Nate Gorby.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Excited to have you on.
Extended thanks to Jeff, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for nothing.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited to have you on. We've talked a lot on Threads. I know you're into Apple and tech and, a lot of pop culture stuff too, movies and stuff. Listened to your podcast a little bit earlier today. Jason Statham movies and Japanese egg salad sandwiches were on that one. Did you ever get one of those, by the way? Let's start right there.
No.
Have you tracked one of those down yet?
I have not. So, thing about me is the only time I like eggs is if they're scrambled, and like hard boiled eggs or egg salad, potato salad, just it repulses me. So
Me too.
So my co-host Mike was like, "Oh, I love egg salad sandwiches," and I was just like, "That's all you, buddy." I don't think he ever found them either, but yeah, it's mystery. The search continues.
Yeah, because I laughed when I heard that because I'm kind of the same way, and it's interesting, though, how popular those are at the 7-Elevens in Japan. Like, if the backstory, that is the thing. Like, the 7-Elevens in Japan are very popular, which they've kind of fallen out of flavor here in the U.S., but that is, like, the big thing. And I'd seen that story a while back, too, about that. And then when I heard you guys talk about that, I was like, oh, I'll have to see if he tracked it down out of curiosity. But so let's... Well, before we get too far in, why don't we have you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Tell us about the podcast you do. We talked about it there just a second ago, but let's learn a little bit about you, and then we'll jump into things.
Yeah. So I don't know where to start. I'm never great at talking about myself. Mid-40s, early 40s, I guess. Midwest dad of 3 boys and my wife. I've always just been a big into tech and just all the news and stuff. I think it started probably around the time I got my first iPod back when I was, in college, and that was kind of the starter of the addiction to Apple stuff, and just it's like, oh, this is nice. So, but yeah, I mean, I was always big on Twitter when it was Twitter, and kind of migrated over to just Threads now, and it's been pretty fun. I just, like you said, a lot of pop culture movies, just fun stuff. I don't know. It's just a guy online.
That's relatable. With that iPod that you got, was that first gen iPod or was it second or third?
That was, so it's funny because I bought it in the fall, and I think I bought it. I've thought about this before, and I don't think I've ever really talked about it, but it was the iPod with a click wheel. So it was a black and white screen, and it lit up, when you touched the wheel, it had like that white light in the background. So I bought it probably from like a Best Buy or something like that. And then I think like a month later, they came out with like the iPod Photo, and I was like, dang it.
Right.
It's like, why did I buy this? Like, it's like it immediately was outdated, but I didn't really care because I was like, I mean, I think it's easy to forget like how hard and difficult it really was to get music on an iPod back in the day. Like, they didn't connect to Wi-Fi. You had to sync it to your computer, and it was, it's just whatever. But But yeah, it was the one with the click wheel. My roommate at the time had the one with, I don't know what you'd call it, but it was the one with like the four buttons at the top.
Oh
And then it
yeah, I
had the
remember where the wheel
spin
didn't really
wheel.
spin. It had that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was maybe it was like mechanical it spinned or something. I can't remember, but yeah, it was a weird. It lit up red. I remember like that the buttons were,
Mm-hmm.
um but yeah, it was pretty cool. So I was actually at the time I think I was looking at like a Dell MP3 player, and this guy that I was just randomly paired up with in the dorms was like, "No, you got to get an iPod." He's like, "The Apple stuff is so much better and it looks sleeker and blah blah blah." And like that was literally my first kind of introduction into that type of thing. So big thanks to Alec Hipshear.
Shout out.
Yeah, haven't
So
seen you in
that's it's
25 years, but cool.
maybe randomly he'll hear this somehow and be like, "Whoa, it's Nate."
Yeah, yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah,
Yeah, and I remember when that first iPod came out, and I feel like it was like $400, something like that.
yeah, it was
Which
expensive.
that was in those dollars, not today dollars. So that was a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. I remember the box. It came in like this really cool like cube thing, and it had like
Hmm.
it advertised that it would work both on a Mac and a PC because that was still a debate back then. And yeah, it turned a lot of heads. That's for sure. When I was on campus, I remember walking around and always feeling like a little self conscious about
Yeah, the white
walking.
earbuds and
Like,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like those iconic white earbuds, and the iPod was probably in my pocket or something, my coat. I don't know, but yeah, it was pretty fun memories.
And you touched on a good point there with how different it was to get music onto it back then because there was no streaming at that point. So you had to either rip your CDs into iTunes and copy it that way, or once the Apple or the iTunes Music Store launched, you could do that, which I was so excited when that launched because it was like, oh, good, I don't have to pay for the whole album when I only want the 3 songs on it, and they're like $1
Yeah,
a piece or whatever it was. Some
yeah,
of them I think were $1.29 or something, but of
yeah,
course now
yeah,
everything's been replaced with streaming. But
yeah. It's pretty odd. I forget what I was doing recently. I was on my iPhone and I realized that I had the iTunes app installed still on my phone. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, I don't even know what this app does anymore. Like, really? Like, so I clicked it and like, man, they're still like selling albums for 9.99 a piece, and people must be buying them because like they had like top charts and a lot of ads for starting a subscription for Apple Music, which seems like the better bet there. But I was like, man, I wonder who's out there buying albums like that still. It's just
yeah,
so
it's
odd.
it is. But I saw an article, I don't know, it was in the last week or two, that there are just some people who, and it's apparently like a fairly sizable number of people who do not want streaming. They want to just download it, buy it, own it, whatever.
Yeah.
And so apparently it's still, has enough usage that they keep it going. And it sounds like it's not an insignificant amount, which is
Yeah.
a
I
bit
mean,
of a surprise. Like I know, like with vinyls come back a little bit. I think maybe CDs too. But yeah, I don't think that will ever come back to what it was. I have
yeah.
no interest in going back to that, having lived through it before. I think it's a neat novelty thing for some people who haven't done it before, and some people genuinely like that experience of having the album, the liner notes, all that, which was the
Yeah.
coolest part of it back in the day.
Yeah.
But
It absolutely was.
that
Yeah.
did it, done it, don't want to do it.
I remember that being a hard transition for me from like buying CDs to just like streaming my music, because I always liked like you said, the liner notes and the artwork on the actual printed artwork on the CD and all this stuff. And then as streaming, I think, got bigger, like they just would like print a paper sleeve and throw a CD in there, and it was like, well, that's not like it's like you took away
I could
everything
do
I
that.
liked, so I guess now I'll just stream it, whatever.
Yep.
But yeah.
So you started with iPod. Where'd you go? What was next in your journey to Apple
I think
products?
after that, I remember I probably did like an iPod upgrade or so. Because I remember I did get like the iPod video when that was around. Um, After college, I had my first apartment, and um, I was 22 or 23, and credit cards were available to me. So I went out and bought an iMac. It was like one of the first generation Intel something iMac. Um, so yeah, I had an iMac and then the iPod, and then uh, I had those two devices in my life pretty consistently for a while, and then I feel like with the iPod video I remember having like an AV cable that I could connect to my TV. So I was big into Lost, the TV show, and I would like pre-buy a season or buy the episodes as they aired, and I would watch them, connect my iPod to my TV and watch it that way, which felt like the coolest thing in the world at the time. And um, but yeah, and then from there, I mean, the iPhone came out, and yeah, they've just had me in their death grip ever since. Me and my wallet.
Yeah, yeah, know that feeling.
Yeah.
So what are you with today? Like what Mac phone stuff do you have today?
Yeah. So today I have, I actually had my wife and I had we both had MacBooks, and like we were kind of like, this is not really like, we don't need both of these. So we've condensed down to an M4 MacBook Air. It's in that like baby blue or whatever sky blue color. Um, and that's going pretty good. I've never set up like actual different users on a Mac, so that was something new. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's like, actually, this is really cool. Like, now I know why everybody's been saying that iPads should support this for so long. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's a good computer. My computer prior was an M2 MacBook Air, so there's no difference. I'm a pretty light user of a laptop, so I performance wise, I could care less. But the older one drew the short straw because it was the older one. So, but yeah, we have an M4 Mac Air. I have an iPhone 17 Pro, uh, and that is in that. I love that orange color, and I'm super still happy with my orange iPhone. But
Nice.
Apple Watch Ultra 2 and a iPad Mini 7 or whatever they call it. I don't think they actually call it iPad Mini 7, but it's the one that supports Apple Intelligence. But
Okay.
A18 or whatever, A17, I don't know, but it's a great iPad.
Yeah, I saw that might be getting an OLED upgrade maybe this year, which
Yeah, which
that
would
would
be
be nice.
cool. Oh, and then I've got, a string of HomePods and Apple TVs and AirTags. I don't know that really counts, but AirPods Pro too. It's like there's probably more stuff I'm just not thinking of, but yeah, it's
All right, so you're neck deep into the ecosystem like the rest of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no turning
Our
back.
wallets be damned. That's where we are.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
But hey, it's cool. I don't know. It all works. I'm always the guy at my office. And we all have, of course, Windows laptops, and I'm just common joke around the offices is that whenever something screws up on my computer, I'm like, oh, I wonder what kind of computer wouldn't do this all the time or doesn't need to be reset or, man, weird.
Yeah.
There's like one executive that has a MacBook, and I'm like, that guy gets it. Like, why can't we all go? The rest of us get a MacBook. This is
Yeah. So I
awful.
don't know what you guys are complaining about. My computer's great.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I wonder how often that guy has to contact IT for trivial things that drive me nuts. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like I worked at my corporate job that I worked at a long time ago. We were probably 70-30 PC to Mac. I always had a Mac, so I didn't really have to deal with it much, but
Yeah.
a lot of people didn't. And that the always driver updates, driver reinstalls, blah 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 blah. Yuck.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah. Not that
Yeah,
the Apple ecosystem is far from perfect, as we know, but it is my far preferred.
better than Windows.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
So this week, speaking of less than perfect, Mark Gurman of Bloomberg gave an update on the new Siri that has been in the works for quite a while now and has been delayed at least one time officially. And of course, this has been a process, as everybody knows. Like Apple showed it off at WWDC with all these, personal awareness and context and everything like that, and then it never shipped when everyone kind of anticipated it to. And they're like, "Well, we're gonna make it 2026." So now we're in 2026. Earlier, in the last couple of months, Apple and Google announced that partnership where Gemini models would kind of be at the heart of Apple Intelligence, the models that Apple's going to use, but Apple was going to use them in a way that kept all of their privacy standards in place. So it would be on device and with private cloud compute, which is all good news. But Mark Gurman says they've had some snags along the way. And so he had reported like this was supposed to first kind of in beta mode start to trickle out in iOS, or actually we could say iOS, iPadOS, macOS 26.4. So they just released 26.3 this week. So 26.4, the betas will start appearing for that shortly. And that was kind of the anticipated debut of this new system. Apple, I don't believe, as far as I recall, ever said that. I think it's just speculation. So he reported anyway this week that with those some issues they've been having where it's not quite working where they want it, it will be delayed till later this year. Now, don't know if that's 26.5. I think by the time you get to 26.5, you're almost to WWDC, so that makes it almost feel like it could be a version 27 release, perhaps. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that so to touch on the whole thing of like Apple never, like, I know there's a lot of naysayers or whatever you want to call it. Like, well, Apple never actually announced that. And it's like, no, but Mark Gurman's, I think, track record as far as being spot on for like this feature will launch in this dot update or those types of things. It's been consistent. So I think for him, to give him a little bit of grace, it's like, oh, he probably is reporting the truth, but I mean, I don't know. I feel conflicted about the whole thing. I'm at the point now personally where I just want something that's like solid and it's just going to work. And if it takes time to wait and it takes till iOS 27 or whatever it is, then that's fine. But I just am tired of, I was all in on ChatGPT and then I went all in on Claude, and then I'm like, man. And then there's that news about Gemini being the brains behind Siri. And it's like, well, do I have to should I just put everything preemptively now in Gemini? Or is it even going to work with that? Or is it just kind of like a white labeled thing? Like, is Siri going to have its own chat app or something? Like, I don't know. So I'm fine with waiting. But yeah, I am not technically inclined enough to know all the ins and outs of gutting what they have now and putting something new in its place and making it work for whatever 3 billion devices they said they had. Yeah, so it's a task, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really have I have opinions on what I hope that they do, but I think I'm fine with waiting. Like, I don't know. How do you feel about it?
At this point, I would be greatly satisfied if they would just get Siri to the point where if I told the Apple Watch to do something, it worked every time. So like I get so
Yeah.
aggravated because really I don't tell it to do much. And so I'll be like, add something to the groceries list.
Mhm.
And 7 times out of 10 it will work. But the other 3 times it was sorry, I'm having trouble with that. So if they just
Yeah.
fix that as a start, that would be great. And I know that's not a high bar, and so it's nothing to be really excited about, but I would take it in a heartbeat just to have it
Yeah.
work on a regular basis. I find the type to Siri, like I don't know if you've used that or not, like
Mhm.
on a
Yeah.
Mac and everything. Yeah, that works perfectly fine when I add things that way. But like you, I'd rather have them wait and ship something that works very well, and even if it's a step release where it's okay, you get a little bit, then you get a little bit more, and then you get a little bit more. And then even if it's by iOS, macOS, whatever version 28, like that's fine as
Yeah.
long as it works because we've all dealt with Siri's frustrations, I think, through the years. Just it's become a meme, and it's been a meme for a long time of Siri fails. I mean, you see it everywhere. I saw a Reddit post about the delay, and it made me chuckle because it was just a link out to the Mac rumor story. Siri delayed until sometime before, or Apple says Siri will release sometime by the end of 2026, and somebody made a comment, and they were like December 32nd. And then, which of course there's no 32nd. And then the
Yeah.
follow up comment was like, you must have asked Siri. So I was like, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But that's kind of the sad part of it is it's the butt of so many jokes.
Yeah. And I don't know. So I feel like you're right. Like the whole like how you use Siri, like it's like I don't really have any complaints about it because like I've just trained myself to not have it do anything other than like set reminders and timers for me. So it's like I've never actually used like even OpenAI or Chat GPT or those other things. It's like I'm not using them probably to their full capability because I've just am coming from I'm a Siri user. So it's like,
Say, I don't want to push it.
well,
It's not going to
yeah,
work.
it's like I don't really trust this thing, and that's maybe a problem, but um, or maybe not, but um, yeah, I think like even with the Apple Intelligence features that we have now, um, it's just such a it's frustrating that like all these companies, like Meta in particular, like I would love to be able to use um, Apple Intelligence to like proofread my threads posts or anything like that, but Meta is never going to allow that. And they have their own thing, but they won't. I don't know that they'll actually input anything into threads per se. But I don't know. It's just like it's this cool like blanket system that we have, Apple Intelligence, and it's really only useful in the Notes app, email, and I don't know whatever else. I know there's probably other like note taking apps and stuff that support Apple Intelligence, but um, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's like oh, those are nice, but like the apps I really use like are owned by other companies, and they don't want to support that, and that's until everything just shakes down. I guess we'll see where everything lands, but um, yeah, it's a weird time to be into this stuff.
Yeah. Do you use the Apple Intelligence features often when you're in Notes or the other apps where it's available?
No, because
Okay.
mostly I don't. I mean, I don't. I don't write emails on my personal devices. Like, I just email for me outside of my job is just a way for companies to send me advertisements and for me to read newsletters like yours. And it's like I'm not really often writing emails. Like I think actually the when messaged you guys to get on the show here, and like you and Jeff were messaging me back and forth, and I was like, "Oh, this is weird." Like I've never actually used email like this on my phone to to do that. Like it's just kind of changing gears. It's like it's always like messages and DMs on whatever social app and stuff like that. So um, it's I do appreciate that it's there. Image to what's the name of the image generator thing on Apple? Image Playgrounds.
Image Playground.
Um,
Yep.
it's like that was like maybe on par 2 years ago, and now it's still just generating really crummy looking
Yeah, not
Pixar
good.
style stuff of people and photos. And then like I'd look at what's going on with like the other image generator things, and it's like, man, if Apple really wants to like put AI like at the forefront with Siri, like I think they're gonna have to update that stuff and maybe let loose on the reins just a smidge to have not annual releases of software where it's like you got to just adopt it now and change it now because otherwise you're just going to get left in the dust. And
It's
I wonder
moving
if
really
that's like
fast.
wonder if that's like part of the delays. If they're like if there's internal debates on like how often it should update or how privacy really should be because everything running on device is ideal and nice, but I think it maybe, I mean, again, this is where my technical know-how stops, but just feel like maybe it could go a little faster or be a little better if it was run through cloud web something. But yeah, I don't know. And that's the thing too to think about is that, for guys like us, I feel like we are always, we're dorks, so we update our tech product probably way more often than what we should or really need to. So like everything I have supports Apple Intelligence, but it's like, well, you remember that like the iPhone 15 Pro was like the first phone or the oldest phone to support, the whole Apple Intelligence stuff. So for the vast majority of users that don't have a brand new iPhone, um, they're probably just using Chat GPT or, something to that nature anyhow. So
Yep.
I don't know. It'll just be interesting to see how Apple attacks, or not attacks, but how they approach it all and what they do to
Yeah, and I think
kind
you
of
touched on something there
compete.
that's yeah, and I think that privacy component probably makes it more difficult, I would think, because they've had to, split the architecture out to on device and then the private cloud compute versus just sending it right to like a Gemini thing or something. And
Yeah,
I go back and forth. Like I appreciate the privacy aspect of it, but at the same time, there's so much that's already publicly known.
yeah,
It's a fine line, I think. There, like I had some blood work done yesterday, just as part of a checkup, and the results came in, and I thought, oh, let me see what I can learn from these with the AI tools. So I put it into ChatGPT, just a couple of the numbers and everything, and it did a nice job of explaining it. And then I put it in Claude to see how they differ because I'm trying to decide which one I want to
oh,
stick with for a while.
yeah,
And it was very similar, of course. I mean, the numbers it's pretty standardized, but it's helpful. Like, and I had something like I bruised a bone in my back in the gym
oh, ouch,
back in December. So I'm still, and that's why I went to the to the doctor this week because I'm old and I think, oh no, but, uh, I ran that through there too because I was like, well, I wonder what that could be. And then when I met with him, it ended up, most likely it's one of the three things that they said.
yeah,
And he's using AI in his office too. Like he comes in with his phone and he's got like a AI assistant that he runs that captures the notes. Of course, he asks before he does it if you're okay with it, which I didn't care. I was like, yeah, that's fine. So he's into that too. So we had a good conversation about AI and stuff. But so yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You touched there on Meta a little bit, and you have had the Meta Ray-Ban glasses for a while now, and I wanted to talk to you about those and kind of see one why you decided to get those, what the experience has been like, because there's everyone's kind of thinking Apple's coming out with a similar product maybe this year, and so wanted to talk to you about that a little bit. So give us the story on those.
yeah. So I think I bought them kind of on a whim. Like I was very interested in them, just from hearing other podcasts and stuff talk about um, just the more utility, the everyday utility of them. And I guess to precursor it all, so I have had a couple versions of the Snapchat spectacles. In fact, I think I still have them both floating around the house somewhere, but those were just sunglasses. And they had a button on them, and you'd tap that button once and it would start to record a 10-second clip, and you could do it twice for 20 seconds and three for 30 seconds, or just tap it once real quick for a photo. And it was pretty cool. I really liked like some of the footage I got from it. My favorite story is, like, I don't mean to go off in the weeds, but my favorite thing that I ever did with those glasses was we went on a cruise, and we did one of those excursions where like you can like swim with the dolphins, and I just wore my spectacles, and I was like, told the guys, I was like, yeah, these are prescriptions, so like I have to wear them. And they're like, okay, that's fine. And then I was just like recording me like playing with dolphins. And then it was awesome footage. And then like at the end, when you get done, like you're not really swimming with dolphins. You're just standing in waist deep water, and you're petting them and stuff and whatever. But at the end, they were like, want to sell you, video footage and photos that they took of you and your family doing it. And I was like, no, we're good. And then I uploaded because I already had it. And I was like, man, this footage is awesome. Like, it's still one of my favorite things to look back at, where it's like, that was perfect example or use of that type of thing. And the $300 glasses or whatever they cost immediately saved from the $300 that I would have paid for some crappy photo or whatever that they would sell me at the cruise ship. So it's like, hey, it paid for themselves already. Sweet. But yeah, so anyhow, I wasn't new to smart glasses when I decided to get these, and I kind of had like that inclination. My curious side of being a tech guy just got the better half of me. I found that through my work, our HSA or FSA, I always get the two of them messed up. But anyhow, I had randomly, like, I didn't know that there was like $1,300 just sitting on this card. And I was like, oh, sweet. And I was like, also, they cover glasses. And the Ray-Ban website was like, yeah, we accept the HSA. So I was like, sweet. Purchase. So I have prescription Meta Ray-Ban glasses. So I wear them all the time. Sometimes I honestly forget that they're on and that I can do stuff with them that I do. But they're pretty fun. I try to get creative with like maybe some video ideas, some photography stuff. Some of the photos I've taken with them, sunsets and things like that, are actually pretty impressive for a pair of glasses. Even like low light photography has been pretty, for a pair of glasses, it's pretty nice. And even, comparing the photos, I'd say even for an iPhone, it's equally on par, photo and given settings. But yeah, they're kind of, it's different. I don't really do a lot of the AI stuff. Like, I know you can like look at stuff and like say, what can I looking in your fridge and just say, what can I make for dinner? And it can spot things and pick it all up. And that's kind of cool. And I don't know. I'm not that unhinged to where I don't know what's in my fridge and what I want to eat. So, one thing I actually really do enjoy is like just those like kind of like topical things. Like, you ever just like out and about and you just wonder something and you just ask yourself a question, or like I used to like probably maybe jot it down or like think about it and then I'd forget about it later on. So I never actually like look it up, like just random facts. Like, I can't give it a specific example, but I can do that with the Meta AI, and it actually works pretty good. I think the one experience I had with them that I was like, the first time I was really like, wow, these are the future and they're pretty cool. Like, I would say getting Meta Ray-Ban glasses was probably on par to like getting my first iPhone. super
Oh, wow.
limited as far as what they can do. They don't have the display thing in them. They are audio only, and the photos or whatever. But they're just actually they're so useful in certain situations. You just kind of have to train yourself to use them. Um, I can set like timers and stuff on them. Like, I'll do that actually at my office where I'm like, I've got like a bunch of projects to work on, and I can just say set a timer for 30 minutes. And the built-in speakers and the arms, I guess, of the glasses are loud enough for really only me to hear, so it doesn't like bother other people. But it's just like these like productivity timers and stuff, and even like I can set like reminders. A couple days a week, I'll have to leave school or leave work to go pick up my kids from school, and I'm famous for getting real deep into a project and then forgetting to pick up my kids at school, and like they're texting me or something. I was like, dang it, I had a reminder set on my phone and my watch and I still missed it. Well, now I just have it set in my glasses. So my glasses are on my face and it's like, pick up the kids. And it's like, oh, that's really actually helpful to have this audio reminder for certain things that it's like when I know I'm going to be busy or out and about and I'm not going to be necessarily, my attention's not going to be on a screen, whether it's in my pocket or on my wrist. The reminders and the glasses are pretty helpful. So yeah, there's a lot of things like that. I think the one moment that I had where I was leading into this that I really thought was like, oh, this is like kind of cool, like really useful, is I was on a hike and there was some kind of weird flower. And I asked it, like, what kind of flower is that I'm staring at? And it gave me like the whole rundown of, the type of plant that it was. I don't remember what it was. But the interesting part was that it said to me, that also in the frame is poison ivy. And I kind of looked down and I'm like, oh, there is poison ivy right there. And then
Oh, cool. Yeah.
my wife and I are like looking around, like, there's a lot of poison ivy around here. Like, let's get out of here. So, but then I asked it, I was like, what is the point of poison ivy? Like, I asked my glasses and it's like, it's a really good nutrition for deer. And apparently, it doesn't have the same effect on deer as it does humans. And it's just, for most animals, it's like a source of nutrition, right? It's like, huh. Kind of cool. Like, also, I'm glad I don't have poison ivy all over my ankles. But yeah, so it's just like this cool stuff. I mean, like, I would have never known to look at that type of thing or to ask those questions. And like, that's like one of those things of like I was talking about where you just have like a random thought of like, what's the point of poison ivy? Or like, how many breeds of horses are there? Or just, I don't know, any random thing that you can think of. and then
through the day. Yeah.
Neat to have it just on your face. And it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I don't know. I've rambled on enough. What do you have questions for me on them or?
Yeah. So I was curious. I looked at those just a little bit. A couple of coworkers have them. And so I've always been interested in it. Does it need to pair to your phone to answer those questions? Does it use your phone's cellular connection, or does it have?
Yeah, it does. So there's a Meta AI app. I think anyone can download that app. And then like the bonus part of it is that it will sync your photos and videos and stuff to it from there. There's a toggled setting in there where I can tell it to use cellular data. So I've never been like, I have an unlimited plan. So like, I don't care like whether I'm on Wi-Fi or not, to be honest. But so I have that toggled on. There's a few like connected apps that you can put in there. I think I have Apple Music and I can't think of the other stuff that's in there. I think Apple Music's really the only useful one that I have. It supports like Strava for workouts and stuff, which I think is geared more toward like the Oakley versions of them. There's what's that meditation app? Calm has a thing in there where you can do like meditations through that. It connects to like Gmail, Outlook, calendars and stuff. a lot of those things are like, unfortunately, stuff I don't use. So I'm like, dang it, like stupid Apple. So,
I need
um,
to hurry up.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so I think, so I have it connected to like my Instagram, and I can like take a picture and say, Meta, take a picture and upload it to my Instagram stories, and it will do that just automatically, which is kind of fun and cool to do too.
Hmm.
Um,
When
I
you touched on the, I was just
Yeah,
going to say,
go
you
ahead.
touched on the quality of the photos, and I've seen some of those that you've shared up there, and
Yeah,
they're nice photos.
yeah. There's one that I forgot that I had taken. I have it like saved in my favorites photo in a photo album on my phone. Um, and I was going through those the other day just because I was like, some of these photos are old. I just don't have anything else to do, so I was going through those, and I saw this one sunset one, and I was like, man, that really is a cool photo. Like, there's such a good, like, it was on a lake, and it just looked so good. And I kind of swiped up on the photo, and it was surprised that it said that the camera was my Meta glasses. Where I was like, oh yeah, it's like, dang, that's a really good photo. It's a good photo no
Hmm.
matter what, but the fact that I took it with a pair of glasses and actually framed it all right, like, oh, that's pretty cool. But
Yeah, that's good. And I think just having that quick access to be able to do that and not have to
yeah,
dig into your pocket, get your phone out, I can see where that would be fun and handy to have.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, I really enjoy them. An Apple version of them would be so cool to have, especially if they can just nail this whole Siri intelligence thing down. To have like reminders and timers and all of that. Like, honestly, if they had, I'm sure that they will put some kind of sensor things in them for like heart rates. I mean, they do it with AirPods now, but it's like, honestly, I might even like cancel out the need for an Apple Watch for me, because I don't know, like the audio reminders and stuff are way
Hmm.
better than the visual ones half the time for me. And if they
Right.
could just sync between my phone and my glasses, then that's even better. It's better than what I have now. So yeah, there's a lot of, I think, room for improvement, but also it's like I'm not installing apps on these things. I'm not connecting, whatever services through them. I think there's a really, really interesting market that Apple could touch on with that. And I don't know, maybe it'll be Meta that just leads that category. I think the thing I like the most, honestly, about these glasses is just the way that they look. A lot of my coworkers will like, they're like, "Oh yeah, you got those glasses. You're recording us," and I was like, "No, I don't." Like, for one, there's a
I was going to
giant
ask,
white.
do you get many questions about that?
Every once in a while. So when you to for privacy stuff, um, so first, I guess to set the standard, no one trusts Meta less than me. So I I have kind of zero faith in them. And honestly, like, they said that there was going to be ads, like the questions and things I'll ask Meta AI, like I'll start to see ads in my apps based off of the stuff I'm triggering. So I'm like kind of like already there, like, don't love that. So
Right.
I'm going to see a bunch of ads about poison ivy and different breeds of deer and
Ointments to
horses
treat
or something
poison ivy.
stupid.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want that. Like, that's not my MO at all. But um forget what I was saying. Oh, so the privacy side of things, like, so anytime that you talk to them or ask them questions, there's a white light on the one of the corners of your glasses that'll light up. So, well, actually, I don't know that it lights up when you talk to it, but if you're taking video or a photo, like, there's definitely a white light, and there's a sensor in there to, like, I guess people were buying like little tiny black stickers to stick it over the sensor so that
Of
they could
course.
record people without knowing, which also super creepy and not, anything that I'm interested in. But I guess the Meta found out that that was a thing, and then they made an update to the glasses to where that sensor, if it senses that it's covered, that it just won't work. So the glasses won't take a photo. So
Good.
I think
That's
that
good.
yeah, I felt like that was like okay, it's fair enough. Like, it's a good thing to have, actually. they have oh, what was I going to say about the sensor stuff? Oh, there's a sensor in the nose of them that you can kind of see when I take them off here. But they I think it lets it know like when they're on your face and how you're wearing them on there. And it did say, I think when I set them up, it was something about like sending this data to Meta so we can better understand like how your glasses fit and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of cool because I'm like, actually, yeah, like I don't mind sending that, like how well they sit or how rested they sit on my face. I mean, Apple's had that whole thing with like AirPods and they change and tweak the curvature of them to fit like multiple ear styles and different ear tips and things like that. So it's kind of the same, I think, approach that same challenge at least that a lot of these companies will have with glasses, you know, as they fit different shapes and sizes of faces and you know your nose bridge and this and that and all these other things. So
Yeah, that's smart, I think.
yeah, so I thought it was kind of cool, and I was like, I'll give it Meta that like little bit to go. But yeah, so I do get people that will ask questions about them. It's funny how many people like, or not how many people, but like the types of people that have been like, oh, how do you like those glasses? And I'm like, oh yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty handy. I actually really like them just as like headphones like, that I can just have for a quick like. I mean, music doesn't sound great on them, but podcasts are fine. And sometimes when I'm just at the grocery store, and even if my AirPods are in my pocket, I just use my glasses, and it's easier. And
Yeah,
you
super
know, whatever.
convenient.
So yeah, it is. And it's not as like invasive. Like you don't have like the AirPods like actually stuck in your ear, and you can like feel them like kind of loosen up after you're talking so much or something like that. So you don't have to adjust them, and they look totally normal. But I've had like the funniest one I think I had was an older lady. I don't mean to age categorize her, but she was a grandma's age, older than
Right.
70. So, but she said something to me, and she's like, "Oh, she's like, are you taking video of me right now?" And I was like, "No." I was like, I usually tell people, I'm like, if they're like freaked out about the cameras and stuff, and I'm like, honestly, man, like you're not that interesting. I don't want to take a photo of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Right.
I have no ill will toward recording people or whatever. So it's purely a
It'll be
toy. But
interesting to see how that progresses when Apple eventually puts theirs out, and these things are in more places and they're more common. Like
mhm.
what's the society pushback might be in certain situations for that, and in some places they won't let you wear them in, and so you have to
Yeah,
kind of account for
yeah,
that as well. But
we booked a cruise for after Christmas next year, so still a full 10 months away. But I saw that a lot of the cruise companies were like, we don't allow those glasses on the ship. Like,
wow.
so they said that they'll allow them off the ship for like excursions and stuff, but they're like, if you're wearing those glasses on the ship, like you will be asked to remove them. And it's like, oh, so I only have to get a different pair of glasses. But
Travel glasses.
yeah, which is like, I mean, I get it. Like, people are gross. People can take photos of people doing stuff, or like, you know, even if they like
Well,
took a
especially on
picture
the
of,
cruises, because there's
yeah. So it's just
pools
like,
and stuff
yeah,
and lots of kids, and I can kind of see where that'd be
yeah, I didn't even think
a
about the
little
kids side of it, but
sketchy.
yeah, like it's just, yeah, there's some, it's like, yeah, I totally get that, and I'm on board with that, and I'm fine with that. But um, I also like think that I have a little bit different of an angle because mine are prescription. It's like, no, I actually need these to see. So,
Right.
and I think most people that probably have them just bought like the whatever the sunglasses version of it, and you know that's their thing. But um, yeah, as an everyday pair of glasses, I think they're awesome. I would love to see Apple do their own version of it. I think with a lot of, and having them, I've had them now for like a year. And they've come out with new versions of them, better battery life, this, that, and the other thing. And the display ones are cool. But I've gotten a lot of like new features. And even as like, Meta has like their big like fall software event, kind of like um, Apple or WWDC, that kind of stuff. But like every couple of months or a couple of weeks, I just get like an update of then like, hey, your glasses have been updated and they can do this now. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Like there's actually a thing that I can turn on and do like a translation. So if I'm looking directly at a person that's speaking another language, the glasses will translate that and put it into English in my ears. And I have a Spanish coworker that, or Spanish speaking coworker that we tried it out with, and it was pretty impressive. This was
Nice.
before Apple had that stuff with the AirPods, but I mean, I'm not really in situations like that, so it's not like a real super useful thing, but it is cool. I mean, it's
That could be good if you're
definitely,
traveling, different country and
yeah.
there's language barriers. That could definitely
For
be
a
handy.
first iteration, it's like, wow, that works really well. Like AirPods probably do it better because they're just, I mean, a pair of crappy glasses versus, headphones that are, a little more advanced. But yeah, I think it's like one of those things where it's like, this is going to be a big cultural shift, I think, with just wearable technology in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me to see to see Meta do it. But yeah, I'm super curious about Apple throwing their hat in the ring and what they would potentially have.
Yeah, likewise. And that's kind of what has kept me from trying the Meta glasses, and along with the privacy stuff. You touched on that a bit too. But yes, I'm interested. Like, I think it could be a really cool product. Like, I've got the Vision Pro, which is different. That's, AR, VR versus AI glasses.
Yeah.
And there's going to be,
Yeah.
some mixed component of that eventually. But yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate the report. Jeff and I have been curious about those. He's very not Meta, not a fan of Meta. So
Yeah.
he's definitely not going to get the Meta glasses, but we've been wanting to talk to somebody that had them, though, just to see what that experience was like. So appreciate you sharing that with us here today. Let's see, we're about 52 minutes in, so that's usually where we wrap it up. Why don't you tell us where people can find more of you? Like, tell us where they can get to your podcast and any social stuff or websites or anything like that you want to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a podcast with my friend Mike, and that is called Last Month Online. We're on Apple and Spotify and probably a bunch of other podcast platforms that I'm not aware of. Mike handles most of that. So um, uh, I am very active on Threads. My name on there is N Gorby, N like Nate, and then Gorby, Gorb, like boy, Y. I post a lot on there, and that's the same handle as Instagram, but Threads and Instagram seem to be my hangout spots these days. I do use that same user handle everywhere. So like as soon as like Blue Sky came out, I grabbed that, and Snapchat, I grabbed that, and all these other things. So I'm Ngorby on everything. But yeah, the Threads is definitely my social media app of choice. There's a link right on my uh, Threads profile that can tap and bring you into the podcast. And there's the podcast is on Threads as well. Last Month Online Pod. I don't post much on there, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, great. I'll make sure all of those are in the show notes too. So if you guys want to tap into the notes, you can find direct links there. But definitely follow on Threads. Post a lot of good stuff, some funny stuff, and usually we'll go back and forth a little bit during the week on some stuff. Definitely look them up there. But Nate, thanks for hanging out with me today, man. Appreciate it. Glad we finally got to connect. I'd say in person, but this is about, I guess, as in person as we'll be. I think you're out in the middle part of the country, but definitely do appreciate it. It's been fun, and would love to have you come back sometime too.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Appreciate it, Tom. Thank you. And thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Report
Thanks,
back.
Jeff. Appreciate it, brother. Hope the day at work wasn't too bad. We're over here having fun.
Yeah, right.
So, All right, so kind of closing credits here real quick. If you are like into the Apple ecosystem, tech, want hidden features explained, new features explained, tips and tricks, all that kind of stuff, check out my newsletter. You can sign up for that at tomfanderson.com. Our theme music for the show provided by Psychokinetics. Appreciate them sharing the music with us. We did an episode with Celsius 7 for that back a little while back. Let's go check that out. Podcast artwork by Randall Martin Design. Did a great job on that. He does a great job with other stuff. I had him do some work for me on another project. So check out Randall there too. So hope you enjoyed this episode. If someone you know might enjoy these types of conversations, feel free to share it with them. We'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, any of the platforms really, we'd really appreciate it if you would rate or review the show. It helps more people find us, and we would appreciate that. So that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time.